Exploring the world of Dishonored 2 was a great experience. However, even though it was an excellent sequel, the story had some problems. I'm going to list 8 plot holes that I experienced while playing as Corvo, obviously because of spoilers if you haven't played the game yet. I highly suggest to not watch this video. If you do not care about spoilers, please continue. Number 1. Why was Corvo locked inside an ordinary room? At the beginning of the game, Corvo was caught off guard, not expecting to meet someone as powerful as Delilah. After getting knocked down and tossed inside a locked room, he plans his escape by exiting an open window. Corvo is a highly trained assassin, so why did Ramsey think it was a good idea to stick him in a place with no barred windows? He escaped the prison in the first game, so you would think they were smart enough to lock him somewhere more secure if they were not going to kill him. Which brings me to my next point. Number 2. Why didn't they kill him? Corvo knew nothing about Delilah. He was caught completely off guard. Delilah removed his powers. They had the chance to get rid of him. So why keep him alive? Okay, so I understand that for the purposes of appearing more legitimate, maybe they couldn't outright kill him. They set up the whole crown killer bit to cast doubt on the populace, to make them question Emily's right to the throne. If they just killed him and Emily, people might not have been as willing to follow Delilah, but I still don't really buy it. They already killed a bunch of guards and patrons when the coup occurred, so people were going to call shenanigans anyway. Plus, the same exact thing happened in the first game, 15 years ago. I doubt people would have forgotten that. I still think it was a very silly thing for the characters to do, especially if they're not going to implement better ways to prevent them from escaping. Number 3. How are you able to alter past events without changing interactions in the present? When you get to Stilton's Manor later in the game, you have the chance to alter past events. But I see a problem with this. The timepiece only works in Stilton's Manor. However, even though you're just affecting events inside this area, wouldn't things outside still be changed? For example, if you prevent Stilton from going mad, then he will still have his servants around, but in the original past everyone left. Those people moved on and probably interacted with different people. Wouldn't that cause discrepancies with the timeline? What if those people who used to serve him now live in Dunwall in the current time? That means that by changing the past, you're altering things that might have happened back in Dunwall. The guards who used to work for Stilton might have gone to Dunwall to work, and might have influenced events in Dunwall that would not have happened had they stayed with Stilton. So now you've changed events at Stilton's Manor and Dunwall. It just seems like a big mess to alter time like that. There's just too many variables to account for. Number 4. Why didn't Delilah use certain powers again? Throughout the whole game, I was dreading meeting Delilah again. She was a huge threat on everything. She removed Corvo's powers. I was worried how we were going to beat her without the risk of her removing them again. But by the time I reached the end, she didn't appear to have the capability. Why? Unfortunately, that didn't seem to be explained. Maybe when we returned her soul, she lost access to some of her powers? But I didn't really see anything in the game that made it seem like she would be weakened by this, except for losing her immortality. What about the ability to turn you into stone? She didn't try to use that power on me either, unless it was because I beat her before she had the chance to use it. But before you get to the area with her painting, you see a bunch of overseers turned to stone, so it appears like she should have the capability to use the powers. I'm also curious why she didn't try to take over Emily's body again, like she tried to do 15 years ago before Dowd trapped her in the void. She had enough time to attempt it again, and Dowd was not around to try and stop her. Only thing I could think of was that she wasn't interested in being in someone else's body and wanted to take the throne as herself. Number 5. Why did Jessamine never mention Delilah to Corvo? More importantly, why did Jessamine never bother to help Delilah in her youth? If what Delilah said is to be believed, and it appears to be that way because Jessamine questions if she was the cause of Delilah's rage, Jessamine was the reason Delilah was out on the street in the first place. Because Jessamine blamed an object she broke on Delilah. I found it strange that Jessamine never mentioned to Corvo she had a half-sister. Why didn't she try to find her when she was older? Why didn't she try to help her? Did she really not care about her sister at all? Was she too busy with her Empress duties to care what happened to her? Did her father make something up to explain her absence? Who knows? Wasn't explained. Number 6. Why did Delilah get easily tricked into her painting again? You would assume after Dal tricked her with her painting last time that she would be more careful, but no. She got tricked again. When I knocked her out and put her on the throne, I expected her to say something like, "What happened? I was just fighting Corvo Otano, but why am I just sitting here? Why didn't he kill me? This doesn't feel right." But nope. Totally falls for it. Just flies into her painting, not suspecting a thing. And personally, I don't know if I like this ending. She got what she wanted in the end, even though it was a fake existence. I honestly wanted her to knowingly pay for her crimes, not pay for them out of ignorance. She will never know she got tricked again because she thinks it's the true world in her painting. Number 7. How were we able to change back Emily? That was another thing that was not explained. Corvo just puts his hand on her statue and she just turned back to normal. But how? It just appeared he knew how to do it, but that doesn't make any sense. If he played through the game with no powers, I assume he wouldn't have the capability to change her back to normal. Or maybe because Delilah was gone that wore off, but then how come the other people in the room didn't get changed back? Number 8. What happens after you saved Emily and beaten Delilah? Obviously the game describes some story elements that occurred after getting the throne back, but I felt it wasn't enough. How long did it take to fix the palace up again? The whole place was really messed up. And I mean really, really messed up. With the plants and the dead bodies everywhere. It must have taken quite a while to clean it up. Did people finally trust Corvo after calling him a traitor for the second time? Were there any overseers left? There were a lot of bodies there, and the High Overseer was killed as well. Makes me curious if there was even any left now. What happened to all the witches? I did a low chaos run, so I didn't kill any of them. But what did they do after Delilah was taken care of? What about Ramsey? If we spared him, he's found in the safe room turned to stone. Does he get turned back to normal later like Emily? And does he get to rot in prison? I sure hope so. The ending honestly felt rushed, which is a shame because I was looking forward to seeing the ending to the game. It's still an excellent game to play despite my issues with the story. It was a lot of fun sneaking around, using all of the different powers and experiencing the world of Dishonored 2. I still highly recommend that you play it. Yeah, I guess that's it. Wait a minute. These are the doors. This is where the doors were at the beginning of the game. How did they get those the machines up here? You're telling me that they went through this door right here? I don't think so. It's way too small. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. How did they get up here?